India-China relations, the SCO summit. Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, is today in China. He is there to attend the SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit. There are people in the opposition who are raising a shrill outcry that India should not go to China. Why? India should not attend the SCO summit. Why? Because Pakistan is there, Turkey is there, Azerbaijan is there. All these people took the side of Pakistan during the conflict, and Pakistan itself is there. So we should not go, number one reason. Number two reason, why are we mending relations with China? Ji haan, yes, China attacked us in 1962, stabbed us in the back. Right? Relations have been on a roller coaster since then, up and down, up and down, up and down. There have been periods of peace and quiet, especially during Deng Xiaoping's time. Peace and tranquility accords were signed, and that was to the mutual benefit of both the countries. They both wanted to develop economically. Then, of course, the latest stab in the back came in Galwan. But now, China in Galwan got it back right and proper. India mirror imaged their deployment, man for man, tank for tank, gun for gun. We gave it back in kind. Right? And today, the Chinese armed forces have been stretched out in the bitter cold of Tibet for the last 4 years. This is the 5th year going. Right? And they realize that it is pointless. Look, one thing you must grant to the Chinese civilization is that it is a very pragmatic, practical civilization. They are practical people. Right? So the simple fact is that they have realized where is their main threat. The main threat comes from Donald Trump's United States of America. Their main theatre of operation, their main strategic direction lies towards Taiwan, South China Sea. As per Chinese strategic thinking, it is extremely wrong to have more than one strategic direction at a given point in time. You either face east or you face west. It is wrong strategy to face both ways. That is precisely what the Chinese military made a mistake of trying to activate both the Chinese front when they were talking of retaking Taiwan. I think they have realized the common sense approach is to focus on one front at a time, and that front right now is China's Eastern Theatre, because their key economic zone of development powerhouse is on the East Coast. There is very little at stake in the West, right? And therefore, the Chinese very intelligently, I would say, decided to have a thaw with India. The talks of the thaw started last year, and I think one of the first steps was that China agreed to resume the pilgrimage to Kailash Mansarovar, which is something very close to the heart of every Indian, Indic, Hindus, Jains, Sikhs, Buddhists. I mean, all of them, Kailash Mansarovar has a very terrific place in our emotions. So I think China made a very major outreach to India by saying that they would re-permit the blocked pilgrimage of Kailash Mansarovar, holiest place in all Indic religions of Indic origin. And they have made other gestures. Yang He, the foreign minister, came to Delhi and he offered to sell to India rare earths, which they have stopped the sale to the United States of America. He offered to sell to India tunnel boring machines. I'm afraid which only China is manufacturing. Even the European countries have stopped that manufacture. So the Chinese are asking for a thaw. And I think it is intelligence, pure common sense, that we should reciprocate, especially at a time when Donald Trump has done his best to try and humiliate India, kick it in the teeth. That is the right psychological movement to tell the United States of America we have other options. Russia was always there. We will need the Su-57s from him. We will need the S-400s, S-500s from him. There is so much that they are willing to cooperate. He was so nice. He said, we will give you oil at 5% additional discount. And India has said, we will continue oil. In the month of September, we have increased our oil purchases from the Russians, despite the United States diktat. You will stop buying oil, you will not buy S-400s. Why? They work so well. They work better than your Patriots, man. So why should we not buy? Why should we not buy the S-500? Why should we not buy Su-57? Who is America to dictate to us whom we buy from? We don't beg for free dole outs like Pakistan. We pay hard cash, sir. Like we paid hard cash $1 billion for the GE 404 engines, of which you have given only 2 so far in 2.5 years. Sir, the Russians have never stabbed us in the back. Never stabbed us in the back. They have stood by us like time-tested friends. And why should we stop buying oil from them when it is cheap to us? Why should we stop buying weapons to us when it is so good for us? I mean, are we a colony? Are we the 51st state of the United States? And there are people who say, no, China helped Pakistan so much. Has the United States not given F-16 jet fighters to Pakistan? Who built the Noor Khan base? The Americans. Who built the drone command post based at Murid? Americans. American nuclear weapons were found there and they took them out now. I hope they have. So, I mean, it takes two to tango. India is a civilizational state. It is the 4th largest economy in the world, growing to be the 3rd fastest growing economy in the world, right? And India is a space power, nuclear power, military power of consequence. You can't kick us around. And if you do, sir, there will be comeback. There will be comebacks and you should be prepared for it. You yourself have destroyed the entire geostrategic basis of Indo-American friendship. 30 years it took to craft this strategic partnership and to get it to a particular level. Donald Trump has torpedoed it. So be it. China is happy that it has been torpedoed by Trump. Who has brought India and China together? Donald J. Trump. If he is fallen sick because of the tension, I won't be surprised. I would feel bad, but I wouldn't be surprised. As far as China is concerned, India and China, the guiding principle in relationship should be quid pro quo, tit for tat approach. We will deal with you exactly as you deal with us. We will mirror image your behavior. You are nice to us, we will be nice to you. You are not nice to us, we will be equally not nice to you. Yan Yi came to New Delhi, went to Pakistan. So our Prime Minister has gone to Japan and from there gone to China. It will be mirror imaging. And I'm sure this is something that everybody understands. This is a logic that is universal. A tit for tat approach is what will work with China. China is pragmatic enough to understand. There are enough reasons, geostrategic reasons for an India-China thaw at this precise juncture. There are no permanent friends, there are no permanent enemies, there are only permanent national interests. I think that has to be the guiding, defining mantra for India-China relations. Jai Bharat, Jai Hind.